Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our newest episodes of Shots of Legends. New season and new guests. And today we bring you this very special guest from Italy. We bring you Marco. Thank you for bringing us this huge opportunity, this privilege to be able to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm very honored. Where are you based? Where are you running?
I'm based in Maputo, Mozambique, Africa.
I'm in Italy.
It's a pleasure. Piacere di conoscerti.
Ottimo.
I speak a little bit of Italian because I used to work for this Italian company called Volontari al Lavoro Onlus. Onlus means,
Okay.
means Organizzazione Non Lucrativa dell'Utilizzazione Sociale.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I think it's based in Bergamo. So I used to work to this organization.
I did a movie in Bergamo a few years back, like 2018.
Yes.
Crazy experience, but fun movie.
Thank you once again for granting us this opportunity. It's
No
a pleasure
problem
to
at
have
all.
you here on Chat with Legends.
Thank you for inviting me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, about your life, about your childhood before we go to this second chapter, which is to talk about cinema, about your work as a director. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Uh, I was born in Tuscany. I'm 42 years old. I graduated in Florence at university with a thesis about movies,
Yes.
cinema, and so I've been always very fascinated by movies. So it's my obsession. So at one point, I decided to, try to make a first movie. It was uh, almost 15 years ago.
Yes.
And I produced the movie myself with my business partner because no one wanted to give us the money, of course, because you're a comic director, so nobody cares about you. But we made this small movie, and then I started working with a very big producer in Canada. He's from Germany anyway, but he used to live in Canada, and then everything changed. So, but the thing is, I decided to do this because movies are the things I like most. I mean, I watch at least one movie a day, every day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. But what kind of genre do you love the most?
Let's say that also for work reasons, I'm into the horror sci-fi genre.
Okay.
So I made a lot of horror movies over the year, but I believe my favorite genre is the comedies from the 80s. Like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Ghostbusters or the Blues Brothers, all this kind of stuff. So I love the movies.
So when you see yourself, talk about your profession, your work as a director. Can you tell us the meaning of being director in the late century, lately? What does it mean to be a director? Can you tell us about the challenges? Can you tell us about the what are you willing to achieve in the next couple of years? Can you tell us a little bit about this area of your life?
It's not easy at all to make movies now. Well, it's easy to make the movies because technology is cheap and affordable. So everyone basically can make a movie. But the point is that when you have a movie done, if you don't take this movie and you give this movie a life with distribution, it doesn't make any sense. So if you don't have distribution, the movie basically doesn't exist. And the movie industry is changing. I believe for the best. I work now for the past 2 years with a new company called V Channels. We have 15 YouTube platforms in the United States and South America, and the system is the AVOD, so the advertising-based video on demand. So we basically distribute movies for free, and we have ADs. So we basically get the money from publicity. And I believe this is the future. of the independent filmmaking. Of course, the big budget movies will never die, right? So the Marvel superhero thing with $200 million will never die. So, but the point is that all that movies in the middle are disappearing because now it doesn't make any sense to spend like $2 million for it because nobody will watch it. So the thing is, for example, why AVOD is the future. You live in Brazil, all right? So and maybe you don't have any money to pay a subscription for Netflix or Disney Plus or Amazon or whatever. I give you the movie for free. So you watch that free movie because it's a good movie and it's free. So you don't have to pay anything, but I make money with advertising. So this system is the future. Because it doesn't make any sense to spend like $50 every month for a subscription. It's stupid, really. So I believe in the next 2-3 years, AVOD will take over the movie distribution. So well, I hope so.
So Marco, can you tell us about the film industry in Italy? How do you describe the structure, your platform, the film platform there? Do you think it's easy to be I mean, a filmmaker, a director, a actor in Italy right now? And what are the challenges?
Well, the industry in Italy is not doing very well. So this is the truth. I'm lucky because I work for an American company. So we basically make movies in Italy, but with American funds. So with English speaking actors and whatever. But in Italy, the system it's not that good because there is no money, and all the industry is based in Rome, and the problem is they do movies with government money, and nobody watch those movies. So you basically spend people's money for nothing. So this is a thing that we are fighting. So we are doing small entertainment movies because we want people to watch them. So we don't care about getting money from here and there. So it's our money, it's B Channel's money. We invest and we try to give people what they want, like aliens or I don't know, disaster movies, all this kind of stuff.
But do you think that because of this kind of low budget movies, you sometimes like equality? If you don't have much money to produce a movie, somehow you're saying that there might not be that higher quality that is necessary to in a movie. Do you think lack of money is having some kind of a negative impact in your productions?
Well, it's a very interesting question. And the answer is both yes and no. The thing is that if you give, I don't know, $30,000 to someone who never did anything, 99% the movie would be a disaster. All right. But look at what I do. I used to work with the Canadians and the Germans back in the days. So I learned how to make a good movie with, well, it wasn't big money, but it was acceptable. What I do now is the same because I co-produce the movies. So even if I don't have a big budget, I put a lot of services with my company, and we are the same quality that we used to have like 10 years ago. But it's very difficult. But I'm lucky because my team, they are very young, like 20 years old, 25 years old. So they have a lot of energy and they put every effort and every skills in the project. So this is the reason that we can have the same quality we used to have back in the days with more money. But the problem is that out of 100 movies, maybe 90 are a disaster. So we are trying to make the difference. Right. So we are trying to make small independent genre movies, but with dignity. All right.
Okay. Okay, but do you think that the government has a role to play in this process to change the paradigms? If you analyze the government, do you think the government is staying far from this debate about changing the paradigms in the film industry?
I believe that here in Italy, it's too early because they are too old. But probably in 2, 3, 4 years, the situation will change for good. The problem in Italy is that they need time to understand the changing of this world. And it's, but I perfectly know it's not easy to understand because, we are facing the same problem with investors. So if I go to an investor and I say, okay, give me $1 million and I will do like 30 movies, he would say, how is that possible? And it's possible, but it's very difficult to explain that now it's possible. So most of the times they say no, because they don't trust the system. But again, in 2 years, they will come back. I'm sure, 100%.
But let me ask you this particular question. Do you see yourself living in the in US in the next couple days, couple months, couple years? When you analyze how the film industry is evolving, where do you see yourself, or where are you willing to go as a director? Do you see yourself in US, in Los Angeles, in California, New York? Where do you see yourself, like the reality you would like to live in?
Well, I've been to Los Angeles for years. I love the city, but I believe I'm not the right person to live there. So my producer lives in Beverly Hills. He's Italian, but he lives in Beverly Hills. So, but I think I will go back and forth, but I will stay here in Italy because I have my studios here and my team is here. So I would love to go there again, make movies, but only for a short time. So I'm not the right person to be living in Hollywood because I love the city, but I don't like the system.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm an outsider, so I will probably will not fit there.
Yeah. But talking about
Even if my
yes,
manager lives in Los Angeles, I have a lot of friends there, but still I'm not the right person to live in Los Angeles.
yeah. Before we go to V channel, can you tell us about your biggest inspirations? I'm talking about the directors, movie stars, actors that somehow might have had this positive impact in your career as a director. Can you tell us about your legends?
Absolutely.
Those
I
ones you follow deeply and say like, well, I love for example, Clint Eastwood, I love Coppola, etc. Can you tell us about your heroes as a director?
Absolutely. Well, I perfectly remember the day that I went to the movies. It was 1994.
Yeah.
I was 13, and I went to the movies watching Pulp Fiction from Quentin Tarantino. And
Tarantino,
that day I
yes.
say, "Oh, I was speechless." So I was young, but when I watched that movie, I say, okay, this guy has something that everybody else don't. So Quentin Tarantino is one of my idols. But uh, I love Robert Rodriguez. I know that a lot of people say, okay, Robert Rodriguez is not that big author, but it's a real filmmaker. So he, shots his movies, edits the movies. So it's a real filmmaker who, make movies with millions.
Yes.
I uh, well, as I said before, my one of my favorite movies is the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
The big comedies from the 80s. So John Landis is another myth, or Ivan Reitman. All those people inspired me when I was young, and then I decided to try to make movies myself. It's crazy, but it's possible.
Yeah.
And I believe I've been lucky enough, being that in that period when technology changed, so making a movie was affordable.
Mm.
Because I made my first movie with a Canon 7D. It's like $2,000 Canon. So it was impossible a few years before, you know. So, uh, but yes, Steven Spielberg. I love classics.
Yeah.
I mean, I love classic movies. So, I grew up with Jaws and AT and well, yeah, that and the big
No,
horror movie like Nightmare on Elm Street and Evil Dead and all those kind of horror, extreme horror movies.
no, that's interesting. But when you look, when you compare the golden era, if you mentioned that Spielberg, Coppola, Tarantino, and others, when you compare the golden era, if we call that time a golden era because it was actually the golden era.
Yeah.
If you compare that
Yes.
golden era with the latest movies, do you think we are lacking creativity? Do you think the film industry is evolving? Or do you think that we are facing a lot of challenges, filmmakers, as directors, actors? How do you analyze the movies, the films that we are producing lately, if you compare to those that were
Yeah.
produced in the golden era?
Well, let's say that if we have to talk about the big movies, I believe that in the golden days, it was unbelievable what they can achieve with what they have. Because you know, today with the CGI and the visual effects, in a
VFX,
way,
yes.
it's easier. All right, so because you want the Thanos word in the Avengers,
Yes.
you generate it with a computer. Back in the days, it was real. So if I think about movies like Apocalypse Now,
Mm.
if I watch Apocalypse Now today, it's unbelievable.
Mm.
Also, the end of Ghostbusters or whatever, the car chasing of Bruce Brothers. I believe that all that the gold directors like Spielberg, they had something more,
Mm.
and the creativity was different. Don't get me wrong. I
Yes.
truly believe that also today the big names have something more. But the thing is that when you work in a huge Hollywood production now, it's different because it's not more about the director, it's more about the money, the producer. So you have your hands tied, and it's frustrating. I believe that. Well, let's think about this. When you don't have big money
Mm.
and you can basically do whatever you want, you have more freedom, more creativity, so you try to do your best with nothing, and most of the time it's way better than say, okay, I want that,
Yes.
here's the money, somebody will do it. It's
Mm.
difficult, but it's a way to keep the thing, the movie making, under an artistic point of view.
Yeah.
Because you know,
So,
even if I
mm.
make horror or action movies, it doesn't mean that I'm not putting my art in
Mm.
those movies. It's just another way, let's say, to understand the movie business.
Mm. But some people say that if you allow me to talk a little bit about Marvel, some people say that Marvel somehow is killing the film industry. Do you how do you access this information? Some people compare this movie, we talk about Spider-Man, we talk about these superhero movies, and they compare, for example, to Titanic, for example, James Cameron. They compare this movie to Apocalypto by Mel Gibson, etc. Do you think these affirmation, these thoughts are real, or how do you access the way people think Marvel is dealing with the film industry lately?
Well, let's say first of all, I'm not a big fan of superhero movies, so I prefer the old days.
All
I
days,
believe
yeah.
that in one hand it's true because there is, you know, I watched a few Spider-Man movies. I have a 6-year-old son, so I watch movies with him. Uh, I don't like them very much, But something is good, something is not. But I believe that it's the system that is rotten. So they put too much money in just one single movie,
Yes.
Avengers Endgame,
Yes.
like 400 millions. All right, so the box office is good, but the problem is that all the rest is a disaster. And the big company are monopolizing the system. So it's like Disney or Sony, they are destroying the industry. All right.
Mm.
So, and also the historic studios like Paramount or Warner Brothers, they are suffering now because because of the Marvels. And it's sad because it should have been something that could save movies,
Mm.
but they are destroying them. So it's a very difficult situation.
Mm.
I believe that back in the days the situation was different.
Mm.
Think about Lord of the Rings. All right, so
Amazing.
big,
Yes.
yeah, it's a wonderful production. It's full of creativity and made very good movie at the box office. And behind the project was Peter Jackson, one of the best directors in the world.
Yes.
Today, uh, it's difficult to see the director's view behind a Marvel movie. So I
Mm.
don't see any difference between that movie and whatever. So I don't like it very much. And I believe that big companies like Amazon, Disney, they are phagocytating everything. They are destroying the art of making movies because they only think about the money. And
Mm.
uh, it's something that I really don't like. I mean, it's because as I told you before, I love movies, so
Yeah.
I'm very sad to see that movies are only money, and
Mm.
it's not for me. I mean, I work basically, I don't know, 15 hours a day making movies in the studio. Well, those guns are fake, of course. So I'm surrounded by props and things, and I love making movies. So
But
of course I do it for a living. So of course I need the money, but it's not like the big company strategy.
but how do you see how do you see VFX CGIs when you analyze The Way of Water by James Cameron? I talk about Avatar. Do you see how do you see? Because we see that the Marvel somehow use these techniques a lot. But how do you access this information when you analyze Avatar by James Cameron? Because I've seen many opinions about this movie, and people actually were giving positive criticisms about the James Cameron movie, The Way of Water. How do you access the way VFX, CGIs are being used lately?
Well, I love James Cameron. So basically, every single movie he made, he's crazy. But think about Terminator 2, and Titanic, and Avatar. Everything he does is a masterpiece. I remember when I watched Avatar in the theater 15 years ago. Now I don't know, with the 3D glasses.
Yeah.
I was well, I didn't like the movie itself, but the experience was amazing.
Hmm.
I think that visual effects now are. I have a post-production company, so for me, the visual effects are very important, especially when you don't have enough money to do it for real. Like
Hmm.
I'm starting a movie tomorrow, and it's about an asteroid storm coming on Earth. Without
Hmm.
CGI, it's impossible to make a movie like that.
Yeah.
Or we made a movie last year. It's called Dark Parasite with this creature alien
Yeah.
in an underground. So without CGI, it's impossible. Uh, I would love to do a movie like Guillermo del Toro's with real creatures and whatever, but it's too expensive. So just forget it. But
Yeah.
the problem is that if you think that the visual effects can save a movie, yeah, forget it. So if you use CGI and visual effects with an artistic view, it's perfect.
Hmm.
Movies like Denis Villeneuve Dune, it's wonderful. I didn't like the movie, but it's beautiful. And you see that CGI that seems real.
Mm.
If you use CGI because you don't have the money and you do it quick and you do a shit, it's a disaster. A lot of movies I watch have terrible CGI effects, and it destroys everything. So you can do your best with actors with frames, but if you have like a monster in CGI with a bad rendering, the movie it's done. you know.
Yeah.
So but CGI is very important for also for young and upcoming directors because maybe they can achieve something they couldn't uh, in 5 years ago.
No, amazing. So we are counting down our minutes, but before we finish our chat, I still have two or three questions. I would like to know a little bit more about what you have been doing as a part of the V channel. I know you have in your portfolio movies or films like The Abigail, The Dark Parasite. You have Day Off. You have Asteroid Storm. You're going to you said you're starting the production tomorrow. Can you tell
Yeah.
us, can you talk a little bit about your projects and how proud are you with this work we've been doing in the late times?
Uh, I'm very happy to be working with the channels because I truly believe that Nick, the Mario Niccolo Messina, the head and the mind behind the channels, I truly believe he's a genius. He's crazy, 100% crazy, but he's a genius. I remember the very first call I had with Nick. He called me. It was almost 2 years ago, and my manager got me in contact with him because she lives in LA with in the same neighborhood of Nick. So this guy called me and said, okay, look, Marco, I don't give a shit about what you do. I don't like movies. And I say, okay, so why did you call? And he said, I have an idea, but I don't know how to make it real. If we join forces, I believe that we can do an amazing job. So okay, I said, okay, let's try because I really appreciate when someone is direct with me because movies and producers and agents they are I don't know how to say without being well they're full of shit. I'm sorry, but this is the truth. But that guy said the truth. He spoke from the heart and said, "Okay, I don't give a shit about movies, but I know that you can do good movies. Let's team up and do it together." And we're friends. We did 7 movies and 54 documentaries in 2 years, and the system is working. And I truly believe that AVOD is the future of the independent filmmaking. It's difficult, but now we are going to the big platforms like Roku and Plex and Amazon and Tubi. So the family is growing, and I'm very happy, and I know I am lucky to be part of this crazy family.
Mm.
So and we have I believe uh 5 more movies after summer. We have the Abigail Curse is a psychological horror. We have a Western movie. We have another thriller, and we have a gladiator movie. So we are working very, very hard, and it's the same for 2025. So next year, uh, finger crossed, but the we are growing. So I'm very happy. It's difficult because I basically never stop, but I love what I do, so I know I'm lucky.
Mm. So Marco, it's talking to you, it's electrifying, it's amazing. But before we finish, I would like to know what are the secrets, I mean, to be a good director, and which advice, what are the advice you leave to those who are willing to become a director one day?
Mm, being a director is very difficult, but as I said, today it's easier than 15 years ago. I believe that if you want to step into this business for a living, which means paying your bills and your rent or your mortgage or whatever it is, you have to focus on what people want to see. Because if I have a story that interests only myself, it's a waste of time and money. Well, I mean, it's not a waste, but let's see. Maybe I spend 2 years making a movie, then nobody will see. If we at V Channels, we analyze data from Google, and we know what people want to see. So one of the action movies or Western movies are the most typed word on Google. So this is what we do. We do something that people will enjoy because we want to do something that we like and we can pay our bills with. So my advice for the young directors is put your creativity, your art, your vision, but don't forget that if you have to make a living out of movies, you need to be very smart. And maybe before doing your dream movie, do like 10 small movies to, to make money. And then you invest your money in what you believe is the best project in the world. It's possible today. But if you start believing that you're the best director in the world and your story is the best story in the world, it's not easy, to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very tricky. What we do, for example, I produce 4 first-time directors last year, and now this year we are producing 2 first-time directors because we believe that the new filmmakers are the future. So we at V Channels, we are investing in the young directors. So the director of Gale Curse, they are like 23 years old. And I made my first movie, I was 29 back in the days. So we believe that the young filmmakers are the future. And we want to help
the
them
future.
So we want to teach them how to make a living out of this wonderful world,
No, thank you so much, Marco. It was a pleasure to have you here
Sergio.
on Chats with Legends. We wish you all the best, success in your path. And we hope to have you here in the next opportunity, in the next episodes of Chats with Legends.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm here anytime you want.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. See you next time.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah. What an amazing chat we had today with Marco, a director from Italy working for V Channel. It was a pleasure to have you there. We felt your presence. We hope to have you here in the next opportunities, the next episodes of Chats with Legends. Don't forget to follow us on our social media and stay tuned to our next guest. See you there.